Welcome to the HONA Podcast with
Mike and Charl.
I feel like you're good at saying Mike and Charl.
I feel like that's my forte.
Yeah.
I've upgraded now from just Charl.
Thank you to everyone who's watched and listened to us. We've had some great feedback. We've had some great reviews.
It's been a joy.
It has been all right. It's a good excuse for me and Charl to get together and talk about stuff we normally talk about anyway.
I feel like we have these conversations, but now they're just recorded.
Yeah. So what are we talking about today?
I thought today we could do one all about education.
Good. That's a good one. Education is such a big part of HONA.
Yeah.
It's a big part of the industry, especially I'd say the last 5-10 years. The standards in the UK have really increased. So I think that's a great topic to talk about. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So, before we get into today's episode, did you want to do a shout out of the week?
Yeah. Do you know what? Since you are talking about education today, why don't we shout out one of our educators? And I'm going to shout out Chloe Stocker. Do you know why I'm shouting out Chloe Stocker?
I know why you're shouting out Chloe Stocker.
We must have had about 3 or 4 reviews about her.
Yeah.
She's obviously a really attentive educator. She's obviously really thorough. And she obviously really teaches the HONA way because we get consistently good feedback from your students. So well done, Chloe.
Well done, Chloe.
Clap, clap, clap.
Yes. We've got incredible educators all over the country, which I love. I think it's really important to have, and it just reinforces to us as well when we hear like these reviews and these feedback forms from their students. It's just, we're doing the right thing. It's great. I feel like that leads us actually really nicely into today's episode, talking about educators, talking about education.
Yeah, like you said at the start, I feel like education is such a big part of HONA. It's a real big part of the industry, and I think it's one of our USPs. One of the things that really makes HONA stand out is that we are so thorough with our education and even the amount we give away completely for free.
Yeah, definitely. We, as a company, don't want there to be any barriers. If you are a brand new nail tech switching over to us, for example, we don't want there to be any barriers in regards to like education. If you don't understand a product or anything like that, I feel like we put so many things in place for you to be able to learn. So why is it so important to educate yourself? And I feel like that could be a conversation that could lead into why is it so important to continue to educate yourself as well. So from my personal experience, I finished college and I was very lucky enough to go and work with my tutor afterwards. So I felt like I constantly had, that learning aspect going forward. But one of the main things for me learning, I remember this very vividly, was when I was looking at e-files. And I've always been terrified of e-files. And that was because of stigma that was attached to them. Mm-hmm. There was not enough education I felt around them. I had previously a poor experience with having an e-file improperly used on me. But it was only when I actually went and did my own research and went and did my own training that I found, my God, this is a really vital part now to my treatment process. I then was able to think, right, okay, I'm using this properly now. I can speed up my service times. I can get more clients in. I can actually make my life easier for myself. So I was so glad in the fact that I actually did my own research and then went and did that additional qualification. So I also think that there are so many different methods that need updating and ingredients have improved. I think we're a perfect example for that.
Yeah. So there's continuous education definitely needed from nail techs. It not only shows your client that like, look, I'm staying on top of all these industry changes. Chances are it's going to help your client retention. Because I don't know about you, but like my barber, for example, Lewis, I know this is completely left field for any of you. He's always doing these training courses and I go to it, and he's more expensive than most of the other barbers around the area, but I always go to him because he does all this extra training and he is quite, visible on social media where he's showing all these extra courses and training he's going on and stuff.
Yeah.
So if it works for me, imagine having a nail tech.
Yeah, definitely. I almost again, a little bit left field. I love going to have a facial done, for example. And if my therapist knows what she's on about, understands why she's using the products that she's using, giving me a reason why she's using those products, the ingredients, for example, I buy into that.
Yeah, of course.
And your clients will as well. Your clients will buy into your knowledge. So if you know what you're talking about, of course I'm going to go away and maintain my nails the way that you've told me to. I'm going to use my cuticle oil because you're knowledgeable about those things and you've told me that this is the benefit of it, which I think is amazing.
The number one thing a nail tech should do after they've completed training or booked training is shout about it.
Absolutely.
Tell your audience, look, I'm doing this training. Look, I'm looking to upskill myself. And chances are you're going to get a lot of inquiries from it because people are like, oh, what's that? What's that? Even if, because people are nosy. People want to know what you're doing and why you're doing it. But also it reinforces to your current clients that my nail tech is someone who's on top of things.
Yeah. That as well. So you're talking about like not just new treatments, but just upskilling yourself as well. So you may already know how to do builder gel, but you may want to book on to do like masterclasses and things. There's so many resources out in the industry now for you to be able to upskill yourself and learn different ways of doing things. Because I think we're, again, a perfect example of not one method or one thing fits every client. So by tailoring certain treatments as well, again, it gives you that upper edge, definitely, when it comes to selling yourself to clients. But in regards to new treatments as well, this is one thing that I would say is if you are looking to do new treatments, just obviously make sure with your insurances as well. Because I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with self-teaching.
Yeah.
I know quite a few people that have self-taught themselves on how to do certain aspects of nails or anything like that. But if you teach yourself a certain thing and you want to then offer it to clients, always double check with your insurance company that you don't need a qualification for that or whether you do need a qualification for that. And again, I think that's where going on courses and things like that, like you love seeing a wall full of certificates, don't you?
Yeah, of course. It just reinforces that you're with the right person. Like, why do anything cheaply? Why go to the nail tech who's done, I don't know, a £10 online course when you could go to a nail tech down the road who's invested continuously in themselves? I know what I would go to, and you're attracting the right type of client by doing that as well.
Definitely.
The Ferrari client.
We'll go back to the Ferraris.
Yeah.
So let's talk about conversion courses as well.
Okay.
I will always highly recommend anyone do a conversion course if they're switching brands. And one of the main things that I would say to do this is because even though you may have already trained in Builder, you don't know that brand specific products. You don't know whether they prep the same. You don't know whether they apply the same. If you're moving from a HEMA brand to a HEMA-free brand or a completely hypoallergenic brand, there's going to be a huge disparity in the way that product feels.
Well, let's just look at HONA as a brand. So if you're converted from a high HEMA brand to HONA, there's so many differences with the prep you're going to need to know. But like, even if you ignore all the differences in prep, the physical properties of the product are different. They feel different.
So different.
So the viscosity of ours in comparison to others is far different. And even the way the gel moves and acts on a nail plate is completely different. Yeah. So a conversion course, especially if you're investing quite a substantial bit amount of money into a new brand.
It's not a cheap thing to do.
Yeah. You want to put your best foot forward. The last thing you want is service breakdown. Yeah,
and I think service breakdown happens mainly because of improper use of product. So by doing a conversion course, you're going to get the best out of that product that you possibly can. You're going to get the best out of the brand that you possibly can.
Let me throw a question at you.
Ooh.
So you get a message from a nail tech saying, I don't want to do a conversion course. I'm already a nail tech of 5 years. I'm an expert. How would you respond to that person?
Have you looked in my emails this morning? I feel like this is a very common thing though.
Yeah.
And me, myself, am guilty of thinking, I've been in this industry X amount of years, I know how to apply this. And first thing that I would say is run me through your application process from very start to finish.
Yeah.
And by them coming back to me and telling me that, I can literally pinpoint straight away, right, this is where HONA differs. These are the things that you need to change in order for our product to work its best for you.
So you can see pretty clearly if somebody's saying, I don't need a conversion course, and you get in there step by step, you can see the differences, because the chances are they're coming from probably a HEMA brand, which why they may be converting to us, and they're still applying it the same way.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So for me, that's one of the biggest reasons to do a conversion course, is not only will you learn more about the product, but learn more about the brand itself.
Yeah, because obviously your customers are going to be asking why you're changing, and again, it just empowers you.
Definitely, it echoes back to that. If you're able to answer their questions, you're giving them more of an opportunity to be like, my nail tech knows what she's on about, knows what they're on about. Definitely.
With that said, HONA tries to give as much away free as possible.
Absolutely.
So there's no comparison to in-person training with a qualified, highly experienced educator. But with that said, there's not always an opportunity or available for everyone because of A, money, or B, location, whatever. So there is an awful, and I think most brands do this, which is quite good. There is an awful lot of tutorials on our website, on our YouTube, on our TikTok, and on all our various educators platforms.
Yeah.
Like showing tips, tricks, and little intricacies with the HONA brand or whatever brand you're using, showing the intricacies of that product and what you need to be aware of, whether it is the viscosity is being less, so when you tip the nail upside down to build the apex, it's a lot less than it would be a different brand. Like little tips and tricks you can pick up there that will really help you.
Definitely. I feel like TikTok and YouTube especially are great platforms.
Yeah.
We love uploading little tutorials to those channels. And we always get guests in as well.
Yeah.
So again, it's not just like my one opinion, it's loads of different tips and tricks that other HONA users have picked up throughout their time in using us as well. Not only that, we also offer free one-to-one calls. So if you are, or if you have recently switched to us and there's like any troubleshooting that you want to go through, we have a free one-to-one call that you can have with either myself or our head of education, and we can go through that with you. And again, it's just a free little Zoom conversation. We can have a little chat about your prep, have a little chat about your application. If there's anything that you have questions about, that's a really good opportunity there as well.
Yeah, if you're a nail tech and you're thinking about using HONA, converting to HONA, or you just want to offer a HEMA-free hypoallergenic system in your salon because you have a few clients who may have an allergy, take advantage of HONA's free one-to-ones and consultations. You're going to have a, half-hour Zoom call with either one of the owners of the company or our head of education. And it's a great chance just to ask questions. Find if we're the brand for you. Find if our morals and ethics align with yours. Find out if our products will suit you by asking before you pay for anything. Yeah. Take advantage of it. So online training versus in-person training. Let's chat about that.
Okay.
So I can see the pros and cons in both. I know what I would do personally, but I'm interested to see what your views are on it.
I feel like there's certain things that can be done online. Yeah. But again, for me personally, I think it's the same as you. If I have the choice of doing an in-person course, I would always prefer to do that.
I think it's a safe assumption that you're going to get more detailed information. And I think it's just, if you're asking questions, you're getting real feedback there and then. So if you're like, oh, how come that's moving funny on my nail? And you're able to ask that straight away instead of trying to figure it out yourself or whatever video you're watching. The problem is that a lot of people are visual learners. They like watching something over and over again and then watching and trying. And practice makes perfect and you get to repeat a lot more. So there's a lot more time you can spend perfecting that one particular like segment of an online touch. So I get that as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think as nail techs, we are very visual people. We're creatives. So to actually do something practically, like you say, watching a video, watching a tutorial, rather than being spoken to or reading something in a manual. But again, I can completely agree with you. If you have a question there in real time whilst something's happening, whilst you're physically doing that treatment, you've got that person there then to be able to give you that knowledge.
Yeah. See, look, and I think certain courses will kind of lean you more one way than the other. Like if I was a brand new nail tech, I would definitely highly recommend an in-person course to learn the basics.
100%.
But if I'm a 10-year plus experienced nail tech and I'm converting, I feel like an online conversion course might be suitable. It might be suitable.
Yeah.
Or if you're learning a new skill that isn't like super in-depth. Say like you're a really experienced nail tech and you want to learn full cover tips and you think, do you know what, an online Swift tips course would be something which I know the basics, I just want to know how that brand does their full cover tips.
Yeah. So again, that sort of conversion.
Yeah, so I think certain courses are probably online suitable, but then there's ones which lean in person's far better. And I think if you're a beginner nail tech or if you're someone brand new looking to get into the industry, an in-person course is going to be invaluable.
Yeah.
And not only that...
Well, even just a brand new skill, not just a brand new nail tech, but a brand new skill. So hard gel, for example, now is huge.
Yeah.
And we're seeing so many more people now asking for hard gel courses because I think, again, it's a brand new skill that they haven't learnt yet. They've got the basics on how they know how to do a builder, for example, but there's so many different properties to hard gel. There's a different way of removing. So a brand new skill, again, I love the fact that I could go and do an in-person one.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think, controversial, something new in person, improving or changing or something existing. Upskilling, good word. More
could
online.
do online. Yeah.
Controversial.
I think so.
But then take it with a pinch of salt.
Yeah.
It can be obviously, if you're in, I don't know, the middle of the Sahara Desert wanting to do nails and there's no educator around you.
You may do online.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that, like, you shouldn't do online training because I feel personally we have put so much effort and so much, like, work into our online courses.
Spoiler.
Bit of spoiler there. Because I look at some of these like really cheap online courses that you can see, like you said, you can see these ones for like 20 quid. And I don't want to be that brand. I want to be still HONA level.
Yeah.
But if you're completely unable to get to an educator or, you know...
It's a means to an end sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. But we don't want to... What's the word I'm looking for? Like downgrade on it, I suppose? Yeah,
we don't want to put it down because there is a place for online training. Yeah. I just think there's, with the amount of excellent educators HONA has and the wider community has, in-person training, I do think trumps online training in majority of scenarios, but not all scenarios.
Yeah.
Let's talk about cheap online training.
Riles me up.
So for anyone listening now who's a nail tech, who's thinking about being a nail tech, I think it's safe to assume if you've looked on some type of online course, you've been bombarded with Facebook ads, Instagram ads saying, book an online course for £20.
Yeah, become a nail tech for 20
Become a nail tech, like overnight course, stuff like that. And I don't want to, shit on any of these courses or anything like that because I've never actually done them. All I know is it's very, very, very difficult for somebody to go from ground zero, no experience, no nail tech, to do an online course overnight and become a nail tech and be good to go. Like, you may get that qualification. Is it accredited? Maybe not.
This is one thing that I was just about to mention as well, is we've had some people submit certificates to us because we're a professional only brand, and these certificates mean
non-accredited.
Well, jack shit, basically.
Yeah, it's just
it's a certificate to say Well done, you are a nail tech. There is absolutely no governing body on there.
Yeah.
It's not accredited by anyone. If you were to submit that to an insurance company, they'd laugh in your face.
Yeah. So, online courses, cheap online courses, sorry. Be very wary if you're a nail tech who's looking at them thinking, oh, this might be a good way for me. Because chances are, the problem is, like, if they're very, very cheap, it means that they've probably been cheaply made. And if there's been corners cut somewhere, you're the one who's going to be paying the price for those corners cut.
Yeah, and I can guarantee you, if you were to pay this, you would continue paying for more education afterwards anyway, because you
Yeah.
wouldn't feel comfortable. I know I wouldn't.
But I suppose that is going to be controversial to some nail techs now who just want to get into the industry. They don't have much money to pay for an online course or an in-person course, so it's the only option they have. And I understand that you may just want to be a nail tech, but you want to start off in the best possible way, on the right foot forward. And I just don't feel like these really cheap online courses is there. But there are amazing online courses out there. I'm just talking about the really, really...
The Facebook addy ones that just pop up every now and
become a nail
again.
tech for £20. And I almost feel like some nail tech educators who, they're like, how can we compete with that? And it's like the difference between a burger and a steak. You're offering steak. It may both say nail tech education course or whatever, but you're offering steak and they're selling a burger. Do you know what I mean? There's a big difference between the two. So don't get
Not even a good burger either.
Yeah, like in a tin.
A burger in a tin.
Burger, I'm sure it's somewhere.
So just to summarise then.
Yeah.
Really, really important to obviously get your main qualification, but I feel it's really important to educate yourself afterwards in new methods, new treatments, new ingredients. It will show your clients that you are passionate about what you're doing. It will show them that you are knowledgeable.
You're definitely going to attract new clients as well. Definitely, because if you're constantly reinvesting in yourself, you're being seen as a person of authority. You're going to attract not only the right type of client, but more of those clients.
Definitely.
Because think about it from your point of view. You're going to go to the hairdresser who's constantly learning these new techniques, constantly reinvesting in himself. You're going to go to that facialist. Is that a word?
Yep.
Who's constantly learning. Even down to aesthetics. The person who's gone on all the Botox courses. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's what you're going to do.
Absolutely. Insurance as well. Double check with your insurance companies if they require a specific qualification for any new treatment that you learn. So that's just sort of being aimed at those who are going down that self-teaching route. I know a lot of people now are trialing hard gel. Double check with your insurance. If you need a qualification to offer that to clients, please double check with your insurance.
Be wary of online cheap courses that aren't accredited. There's going to be a lot of courses that are really affordable. You think, yeah, I can become a nail tech for X amount, or I can be trained in hard gel or full cover tips for X amount. It's very, very cheap. Check that they're accredited so that your insurance covers them, but check that it covers everything you need to know, because it may be cheap for a reason.
Invest in a conversion course if you're switching brands as well.
Yeah.
Because like we said, you are going to get the most out of that product that you're using if you understand that product and how it differs to what you're currently using as well.
Nice little roundup, Charlotte. I like that.
One more thing.
Oh, God. Jump the gun.
And always remember that we are always here to talk or to help you in any which way as well. Like we said, we've got our one-to-one calls. We've got a fantastic customer service team that are always available to help you with any questions or queries that you might have. But we've got amazing educators all over the country too. And join our Facebook group as well, because there's so many, well, all of our educators are in our Facebook community, and we're all able to help and share tips there.
I think it's a big point is utilise all the brand's free education. Almost every brand will have education out there, whether it's on their YouTube, in their blogs, on their social medias. Utilise what is free already and see if you get to a point where, oh, I still would like additional training, or you feel like you've mastered it from that. You never know.
Cool. Nice little roundup there.
I'll take it.
Question of the week.
Let's talk about question of the week. Have we got a jingle yet? Or we shall just
No, we got no jingle.
Oh.
So this one was actually really, really nice. Not a funny one this week, just a feel good one. So, what are your New Year's resolutions as a nail tech?
Oh.
Yes. And do you want to know the top answer?
Let me guess what the top answer. New Year resolution. Get more clients.
That was on the list, but it wasn't the top one.
Okay.
Top one was actually become an educator.
Oh, there we go. That's very apt.
Very apt.
Yeah.
So, becoming an educator, we saw quite a few of those, which was really, really nice.
If you want to become an educator, take this as a little incentive, or take this as a little prod. Get a plan in place.
A prod.
A prod, yeah. Like, use this as a stepping stone.
If you are looking to become an educator, seek out those courses first that are going to get you your educator accreditation.
Yeah.
From there, then, you have to obviously create your own manuals if you wish to. If you wish to become a HONA educator, you have our manuals there as well, which is amazing.
Yeah, so just get a plan in place. Don't just make it a wish, a New Year's resolution. Get a plan in place.
Yeah. Get it done.
Get it
Do
done. And then reach out to HONA. We're always looking for new educators.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Try to go full time. This is quite a popular one as well. So there's obviously quite a few part-time nail
So
techs.
a New Year's resolution, let's go full time.
Like you said, get more clients.
Yeah. So I feel like go full time. The hardest step is the jump, isn't it? Like just going for it.
Yeah.
And I understand you've got the safety blanket of a
like a 9
full-time
to 5
job or a part-time job that's covering you. Speak to your employer. See if you can drop a day, drop a few hours, and condense your clients who you have one on a Monday, two on a Tuesday, one on a Wednesday. Try and condense them so you can get solid days. And then do it slowly that way. But imagine how successful you're being now by only dipping your toe in by doing 1 or 2 days, or doing it on evenings and weekends. Imagine if you could commit 40 or 40 plus hours like you do in your current job in yourself, in your business. Imagine how much you can thrive then.
Yeah.
I understand it's scary.
It's terrifying.
I understand it's scary, but if you're being successful and if you're getting to the point where you're being super successful, or you're trying to fit people around and you're having to turn away clients because you can only do evenings and weekends, that's when you really got to start and go, do you know what? I'm going to go for it. And I would say just do it.
Yeah. Recently trained, so just to get more confidence and then start firing out my nail services. Love that. Keep practicing nail art was another popular one. So again, I feel like that leans very much into today's conversation. So again, in regards to nail art, there are so many forums and platforms that offer amazing nail art courses or masterclasses.
Yeah.
We do loads, again, on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok.
So nail art's one of those things, isn't it? That
it's practice.
It is practice, but it's small steps. You can learn different levels of nail art. So if you want to do these intricate chrome designs, first you need to learn full cover chrome, or you need to learn all the different type of chromes products that are out there. So start small and then just build from it.
Build on that, definitely.
Like if French is your on your list of learning to master, like there is a lot of resources out there, and just go there and commit to a plan.
And final one that was quite popular was post more consistently on social media. And I think
God, how many people would want to do it?
Everyone.
And do you know what? I got a real tip for that. And I think we touched on this in a previous episode, I think, whereas create a piece of content that's not just one piece. Like that, any piece of content can be made into 4 or 5 pieces.
Yeah.
So if you've just created a beautiful, intricate nail art set, chances are you've done a removal, you've done prep, you've done some kind of base layer, whether it be builder gel, hard gel, or a full cover tip. All of that is content.
Yeah, take a picture of it, every
take
single
a video, create a reel or whatever after each step. Turn that one client who you love, who's got great nail beds, into 4 or 5 pieces of content.
That's one for every day of the week.
Yeah, and so you're already doing it. You've just got to remember to chuck a camera there. You can use like AI tools like ChatGPT to help you create the captions if you want to. You know,
scheduling posts, everything like that.
If you want to create more content, you don't even have to have more clients or do more work. You just have to remember that every step is a piece of content there. And people love a removal. People love a prep video. People love all that type of stuff. So you're already doing it. Just remember to snap it up and capture it.
Yeah. So I loved all those.
Yeah.
I feel like
what's your New Year resolution?
More patience with you.
More patience with me. What's my New Year resolution? I'll have more patience with you as well. I'll take it. My New Year resolution is to keep growing the HONA Podcast with Mike and Charl, to get more likes and subscribers, to keep us growing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes?
Ooh.
I've got a little behind the scenes.
I haven't got one this week. Go on, you.
So I thought I would share the fact that we did our 2025 Advent. Not Advent, what am I on about Advent? Our 2025 calendar.
Oh, so
the other day.
For anyone who knows, who runs a business, we don't just make it up each month what we do. We plan a year in advance. So we had our big company 2025 skeleton plan of what we want to do, what products we want to launch, what collections are going to fit where, what kind of concepts and ideas we're going to play around with. And 2025 is looking stacked.
Big.
But
do you know what though? 2025 I feel is, for me, one of the most exciting years. Like, there are so many things. Maybe it's because I'm in the company like full time there, but there's so many things that like I'm so excited to launch and to be involved with.
Yeah, definitely.
Really, really exciting. We won't give anything away, but
yeah. So guys, that was a big meeting. We're excited to share with you each step along the way. Look out for our community posts because we tend to put things in there beforehand. So if you really want to know what's happening, like January and February, there may be a sneaky 1 or 2 things in there already. But yeah. Big exciting 2025. So thanks for everyone listening. Education's such an important part of HONA, and I know it's an important part of the industry as a whole. Thank you for listening and subscribing. Where can you find us, Aisha?
You can find us on any of your streaming platforms.
You can find us on the HONA website in the blog section. You can find us on YouTube, on Spotify, or whatever your streaming platform is.
Every Friday.
Every Friday, 12 p.m. All right.
Peace and love, guys.
Peace and love. Peace and love.